What do you do with a new year? Do you create resolutions? Nah. You check your vision. That's this week on the Badass Agile podcast.
Greetings, team. Welcome to the Badass Agile podcast. I'm your host, Chris Williams.
Hey guys, happy 2020. Welcome back. Hey, this is an exciting time. I'm going to mention again that if you live in the New York City, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Dallas, Fort Worth, or Boston, Massachusetts area, and you think you'd like to be part of something special this year, consider helping form a Badass Agile chapter in your area. If you're interested, reach out to me by January 15th, 2020 by emailing contact@badassagile.com. Now we're going to start a free training round for the first cohort only. So if you'd like more information, make sure you get in touch with me by January 15th. So did you make resolutions on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Look, I've yet to meet someone who's told me that they made resolutions and then kept it. There's a much better way to go about things. So today, let's learn about checking your vision. But first, let's remember why we're here. To create an elite tribe of leaders who truly serve their clients and communities by doing what matters and what works, relentlessly chasing value and excellence like a badass. There's so many resources about what you need to do to be agile, but we're focused on who you need to become in order to lead teams. So let's focus on those fundamentals to create a truly unstoppable force in this industry. And remember, if this helps you, tell your friends. Now, how come resolutions don't work? I think there's two reasons. I think it was Tony Robbins who said that most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10. There's something about a year-long goal that is at once too big to sink your teeth into, and at the same time, it's so distant that you allow yourself permission to procrastinate. So there's two opportunities to procrastinate in one. The bigness of the thing is too scary, and the distance before the next checkpoint is just too far away. And that's why most of them fail. So don't do that. Don't think of the year as the turning of a page or a transformative milestone, but rather think of it as an opportunity to simply check and adjust your vision. Now, you've sat with your vision, haven't you? You've created one, right? If you're new to the podcast and you haven't done this yet, go backwards and listen to the episodes on creating and refining your vision, creating a service-based vision. And if you haven't done it already, get after it. But if you have done one, first of all, good for you. The turning of the year is a great time to revisit that vision and tweak it. I just did mine, and I adjusted that vision based on the events that happened naturally and organically over the previous year to shape my business. I discovered a couple of things. Number one, the content that I create represents a massive opportunity to spread the word about what I believe, what I do, and what I teach, even when I'm not in the room. So this year, I'm focusing on becoming more of a content-based business. But with regard to the podcast and my coaching practice specifically, this is a year where, number one, because I did unscripted, which I started intentionally because I wanted to get better at speaking my message without having to pre-write, edit, and groom the script too much. If I could trim that waste, I could put out more episodes per unit time. Instead of once a week, I could do twice a week or more. And voila, that's exactly what I do. And if I keep perfecting that, I can probably create even more content. In fact, this year I started to add on top of those two podcasts a weekly video, along with small 60-second social media snippets. Now, because of that evolution, this year I want to focus more and more on being unscripted, but also on experiential content. That means I want to bring you things that you can try and then feed back so that everything I do and everything I say, we get to test together. And that helps us grow this movement organically and as a team, which I really like. Now, the other thing I want to do is move away from a strictly large enterprise focus in my coaching and bring more coaching back to the individual and team level. That doesn't mean I'm going to neglect enterprise or scaling concerns, not at all. But it does mean I'm going to focus on strengthening the team, hardening the fundamentals so that you can develop techniques that work for you and your clients. But I also want to make sure that everything we build here can leave the corporate team room and the development shops and move into the real world. So Badass Agile will be designed to help you achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Because I believe that when you learn these skills and develop these tactics, you become free. Free to be your own boss. Free to set your own destiny. Free to design and be the change that you want to make in the world. And if what you really want to be is just a great teammate or a scrum master or an agile coach, have a great career, great resume, great pay, that's wonderful. But if you find that the skills that you learn can solve some of the world's biggest problems worth solving, then I want to be here to help you. So that's my adjusted focus for 2020. Now, what about you? Let's start with you individually. As a coach, as a practitioner, who do you want to become? Based on what you learned and experienced last year, what is still true for you? What is no longer true for you? And what is now true for you? Maybe you want to increase the number of people you help. Maybe you want to change industries. Maybe you want to specialize in a certain area of agility. I've got friends who are masters of the retrospective. Hey, if that's you, cool. What trends do you see emerging that you want to make sure you address for the benefit of your clients and customers? Are there new people you could help? Are there different areas where you want to apply agility? Do you like the human side? Or are you still, at heart, a techie and tool person? There's no right answer. And it's 100% possible that your vision has not changed significantly at all since the beginning of last year. And if that's true, that's okay. Roll with it. People say that the hallmark of a good vision is that it doesn't change that frequently. I think that's partly true. I think the part that doesn't change is your service. If you're a helper, that never changes. If you're a healer, that never changes. If you're a teacher, that probably never changes. But what's perfectly okay is to change who you serve and how you serve them. That could be offering new services. It could be starting a blog. It could be writing a book out of your lessons learned and trying to sell it. All of those subtle shifts are perfectly acceptable. In fact, I'd go so far as to say they're truly agile because they're adaptive, they're reflexive, they're responses to changing market conditions. They're servicing a demand. So the beginning of the year is the perfect time to sit down, reflect on your vision from last year, but most importantly, reflect on how you've changed. Not only what you've learned, but also what challenges and opportunities arose this year that make you different. Maybe you switched industries last year and you learned that you've got a real passion or a real flair for manufacturing or retail. Maybe you've really stepped up as a leader and have found interesting ways to generate more trust between executives and managers and the teams in the team room doing the daily work. And if that's a source of great passion for you, maybe you want to extend that this year. A change in vision means that there's growth. It means that you're evolving. And that's extremely good news. So don't be afraid to go in, have a couple of half-hour or hour-long sessions where you sit down, daydream, and brainstorm your old vision, your reflections for the year, and possible directions for the future, and keep playing with it until you arrive at something that reignites you, that re-inspires you. Let's not use the new year as a time to make promises that we truly wish we could keep but couldn't, but to redirect, re-energize our service-based vision and mindset so that we're adding just a little bit more value to our communities and our clients, just 5%, 10%, 20%. Maybe that's by serving more people, expanding your audience. Or maybe that's by narrowing down your audience, serving fewer people but with much greater impact. Only you will know what's right. But if you never sit down and you never treat yourself to the time to reflect on your vision, to examine it, and to hone it, you're never going to take advantage of the opportunity to become more excellent. So do me a favor, update your visions and send them in to me. Let me hear about the changes you're thinking of making this year. Because I'll tell you what, my vision for 2020 hinges on making a deeper and greater impact on the individuals in this tribe. And then creating a movement that reaches even more people. So if you're with me, send me your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you come up with. Folks, thank you for listening. Happy New Year. You can reach out at badassagile.com or find me as always on Twitter at badass_agile. I'll look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay badass.